This 11-minute movie features the North American B25 Mitchell, a heavy bomber with a light bomber with a tremendously heavy load of forward-firing guns, including a 75mm cannon that would normally be used in a tank. This is Linux Air Combat version 7.92 from the 20th of December, 2019.
Between 30 and 40 now.
I'm flying with Hiram, who's one of my regular wingmen. And when I made this movie, I stupidly forgot to set the switches to record my own voice. So the radio voice you'll be hearing is Hiram and just Hiram, and there are gaps where I would ordinarily be speaking. Only the two of us are flying together.
Fully loaded, you get 6.
Hiram was flying I think throughout this entire segment he was flying a P-47D Thunderbolt, which is a hard-hitting fighter bomber, and we are attacking an enemy airfield that is accompanied by a battleship. Now, the battleships used in Linux Air Combat are what we call pocket battleships.
I already damaged it.
They were very fast and lightly armored. So Hiram flew over, dropped a couple of bombs on it and some rockets on it with his P-47. And so by the time this movie started, the battleship was already heavily damaged. And I'm coming toward it in my B-25.
Interesting that the D, it was a fighter bomber, and the B was only a fighter.
User left channel. We're using Mumble to chat back and forth. Joined channel.
The Thunderbolt?
And as Hiram joins and rejoins the mission or does things, he swaps channels sometimes. You can hear that Mumble talking about him entering or leaving the mission channels. Now I'm headed to the north of the enemy airfield so I can attack it headed straight south. The battleship is parked perpendicular to the east-west runway. So when attacking a battleship, I like to be coming either from straight north or straight south. First, I've armed my 8 rockets. I'm going to make a rocket attack, and so I can fire my rockets off at a larger distance. Then I'll go into a steep dive and drop the 2 bombs that my B-25 was carrying at this time onto the heavily damaged battleship.
So I'll be dropping soon too.
So Hiram's still there in his P-47 dropping ordnance and bullets onto the base while I'm coming. Now you can see from this map, I'm headed straight south, and I like to line up on the little island just to the north of their airfield. You can see that kind of pear-shaped island. On its southern coast, it has a little inlet, a little tiny bay, and I find that bay is exactly north of the battleship. So if I fly straight over that little notch or that little bay in this island, and then head straight south, I'm perfectly lined up for hitting their battleship. So you see me doing this here now. My bomb sight's predicting a bomb impact slightly ahead of me, and right there I am, straight over that bay. So now, as I approach, I'll start looking down.
Between 20 and 30, I just dropped them down.
So Hiram got the airfield down between 20% and 30% functional. Here I am lined up for my rocket run. I'm going to fire off 8 rockets. Here they go. Then, as I get low, I'll pull up and drop 2 bombs. Here I'm looking straight down. I can see I really plastered the battleship. Lots of hits, but it didn't blow up. So we know now it must be very, very weak. Looks like I still have 1 bomb left.
Bombs or not?
I still have 1 bomb left, I told Hiram.
I'll come back with another load.
And of course I can strafe, and this airplane's so hard hitting, strafing is very powerful. So I start shooting first, and there you go. Blew up the battleship.
Alright.
And you saw the battleship explode with great ceremony. Now, that is appropriate for a pocket battleship. They just were very lightly armored. The Germans built several battleships of this class. For example, the Deutschland, the Graf Spee, I think there was another one. They had at least 3 pocket battleships like this. The infamous Admiral Graf Spee was the most famous one. And here I am coming back just to blow some more bullets into the airfield. I'm just shooting the buildings and now just chipping up their runway with my heavy guns. But it didn't destroy the airfield. The airfield must be very weak by now. But you can see I've taken a lot of damage here, so I've got to go back. I'm going to continue straight west to land at my own airfield, where I'll get repairs and pick up some more ordnance and come back, make some more attacks, while Hiram's doing the
Is there
same.
a reason we haven't seen any opposition this entire game?
Now, Hiram's observed that the bad guys that are usually in this mission dropping bombs on our airfield, and they were there earlier, have stopped. Notice our own airfield shows some damage. Look at near the lower edge, near the right side of my cockpit. It shows airfield damage. What does that say? 80% or something like that.
There in a second.
So they had been dropping bombs.
Thunderbolt.
They had been dropping bombs on our airfield, but they haven't been around for a while. Hiram's still in his Thunderbolt.
Or most things.
We just flew past each other.
The tougher things, and it just takes bullets like nothing. So.
Hiram extolling the virtue of the P-47 Thunderbolt. It's so rugged. It's really great in these ground attack situations. So
on my
I'm
last run, I was only at like 1,500 feet when I was over the target, but I dropped my flaps entirely, and I was pretty much just falling. That gave me some pretty good hits.
I got my flaps down, my landing gear down, airspeed low enough that I can survive a landing gear coming at 117 miles an hour. A little hot, but this airplane's rugged enough it'll sit. Okay, now I'm down. This is Mission Battle 3, where you don't have to wait a long time to get refueled, but I had a lot of damage to repair, so I have to wait while my damage is being repaired. Notice the damage is diminishing from 15, 14, 13, 12%, 10%. And when it gets down to 0, I'll take off again. There we go. And I'm fully loaded, fully fueled, undamaged, or almost undamaged. There we go.
Okay.
Now I'm accelerating to the
Not so
east.
great. I think I wasn't high enough, and I blacked out before I could do much.
Even though Hiram didn't have a lot of success on that run, he had previously really weakened the enemy airfield.
10 and 20%.
And so he got him under 20% there. The enemy airfield is somewhere between 10% and 20% effective in their ACAC. So here I'm headed straight away from the enemy airfield. So I got to turn around. I'm going to build up enough speed to perform an Immelman turn.
Still between 10 and 20. I'm going to give him some bullets.
At this slow speed, I need flaps to make it over the top of this Immelman turn, but there, I got it. My speed is pretty slow, but there, I picked my speed back up. Now I can raise my flaps. And now I'm headed straight east, which makes me heading straight for the enemy airfield. I like to climb to around 3,000 feet or so and unload all my rockets into them, and then I've got some bombs, and after that, if they're not destroyed, I'll strafe them and see if we can destroy them. I really wish I had not forgotten to record my own voice here. The banter you can hear with Hiram would make a lot more sense if you could hear what I am saying, but I just forgot to do it. So now I'm just over my own airfield. I've got about 35 kilometers to go to get to the enemy airfield. I'm climbing through 1,100 feet. I've got my 3 bombs armed. I'm selecting targets. Selected Hiram there. You can see he's straight ahead of me over the enemy airfield.
Enemy airfield repairs are stopped. The repair crews appear to be hiding in the shelters.
I can see that he's strafing the airfield. See the damage reports? And because the enemy guys are hiding in their shelters, they're hiding from Hiram as he's strafing them, just keeping them weaker.
Headquarters airfield ACAC strength between 10.
I'm mostly just scaring them off until the real guns get here.
Yeah, I'm coming with the real guns. First rockets, then bombs, and then my strafing with my 75 millimeter cannon and 16 forward firing machine guns. So this airplane is just devastating as a forward firing strafer. Here goes my rockets. I'm looking straight down. We can see them start hitting. There goes 2 bombs. And notice my second bomb comes right on their radar antenna. Right? Watch this. There you go. Bang. really good hits there, but didn't destroy them.
Enemy airfield repairs are stopped.
Hiram's still strafing. Look at that. You can see the damage reports. Okay, their airfield's got to be very weak now, but they're still alive.
They're between 1 and 10 now.
Enemy airfield repairs are stopped. The repair crews appear to be hiding in the shelters.
So the airfield is under 10% functional now. That is their defenses. So they're very weak. It's pretty safe now for me to be flying around.
Repairs are enemy airfield enemy headquarters airfield ECAC strength between 1 and 10%.
I was thumping the F12 button to get that report from my forward observer about his estimate of enemy repair strength. Now, here I am coming back. I've still got one bomb, and of course I've got lots of bullets left. I can start strafing with 16 forward-firing machine guns. I guess, no, 18 forward-firing machine guns plus my cannon. And I'm just going to start shooting up their buildings, see if I can blow up their airfield, and I've got that bomb to drop. So here I come. Oh, it looks like I'm going to drop the bomb first. So I'm dropped a bomb, and now rolling over.
6% damage, but whatever they shot makes rolling really hard.
Strafing. Just firing straight down at him, throttled all the way back. Ah, there we go.
There he goes.
Blew up the airfield. That's what it's like.
I'm going to land on that runway.
That's what it's like to strafe the enemy airfield. Now, Hiram was feeling his oats and decided he would just land on the enemy airfield just to show off.
14,
So
13.
he's down there 12, on the runway someplace.
11, 10, 9.
When the mission ends, we're all going to blow up.
7, 6.
I decided to do a victory roll before that
3,
happened.
2, 1.
Victory
Mission
roll.
ending now.
There we go. And that is how we do that.